Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Welcome to PMDC Online Lecture Room. This is Rameez Qadir, lecturer in English. Today, our topic is determination, Unit 4. This is the second lecture of this lesson. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the study questions or the short questions. Now, first of all, the question is how to attempt a short question. For a short question, it is very necessary to understand the main idea of the lesson, to keep in mind the summary of the lesson and all the characters participating in that lesson. Question number 1. What two cities John Roebling thought of connecting through the bridge? So there were only two famous cities of United States which were in that lesson, that New York City and Long Island would be connected through a great Brooklyn Bridge. Question number 2. What did the bridge building engineers throughout the world think of Roebling's plan? So as we explained in the lesson, throughout the world, engineers and experts thought that it couldn't be done because, according to them, it was not only difficult but impossible to complete. Why it was impossible to complete according to the experts? Because no one has done it before. Question number 3. How did Roebling finally succeed in convincing that the project should be accomplished? As we know from the story that no one was ready to accept any idea or plan from Roebling that the bridge actually could be built. But finally Roebling convinced his son Washington, who was a budding engineer, that the project should be accomplished. Together they developed concepts and plans, and the work was started. Question number 4. What happened when the project was underway for only a few months? If you remember the story, when the work was started, a tragic accident happened. Finally, when the work was started for a few months, a tragic accident happened on the site which took the life of John Roebling, and Washington got critically injured, unable to speak, walk, or only move with a certain and lived with a certain amount of brain, but still he was committed and focused to complete the task. Question number 5. What was the response of the people working on the site? And we all know the response of the people. If you remember the story, the people were saying about them, crazy people and their crazy dreams. The response of the people was very discouraging and negative. They said, crazy men and their crazy dreams. We told them so. It just couldn't be done. But they were chasing wild dreams which are impossible to accomplish. Question number 6. Unable to speak or write, what method did Washington use to communicate with his wife? As we explained in the lesson, that Washington got critically injured and he was unable to speak or move, but he was still committed and focused that he will complete the task. He developed a method of communication by tapping his finger on his wife's arm and telling his wife what to do. His wife would translate the message to the engineers working on the site. So it was his wife that she communicated with the engineers by translating those coding messages which was conveyed by her husband. So in this way, the work was started. Question number 7. How did Washington communicate with his engineers for 13 long years? Now, it was a kind of challenge. Washington took it like a challenge, and for 13 long years he would communicate with his wife by tapping her arm with his finger to convey the idea or plan to the engineers working on the site. And this way, the project was started and accomplished in 13 years, and the Great Brooklyn Bridge, still like a monument, paying a tribute to the unbroken faith and determination to John Roebling and Washington, his wife, the engineers, and their great sacrifice. There are other questions extending an interpretation which a student should need to attempt by his own self, by keeping the main idea, the major characters, the major themes, and all those things which will help them to understand those interpretations and expanding questions, because it is for a student. So it will be a homework for you that to attempt and write in your own words that those expanding questions or interpreting questions. So it will be a homework for you. The remaining exercise is the adjective, and the adjective is already been discussed in the grammar portion. So C for adjective. Thank you, and you can also give us feedback if you feel any ambiguity, any problem, so contact us. Thank you very much.